Hey YouTube, Ron here with BBM Reptiles. Thank you again for taking the time for stopping by my channel. And if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and follow me along in this incredible journey of reptile keeping, specifically working with ball pythons. Guys, if you had the chance to see my earlier video, there's something that I'm starting to do is basically I'm trying to do like a road trip, and I want to go to various breeders within the islands because I want to actually showcase them. I want basically YouTubeverse to actually see so many great potential breeders that we have, and that way maybe motivate a lot more people to let them know that the hobby is very, very consistent, and it doesn't matter what part of the world you are. There is a lot of people, and that should put some value within the hobby and let you know that you're in the right one. Anyway guys, today it's not like the best of news that I want to say. I'm just devastated. I'm devastated because I just recently had a move, and because of the move I was so worried that it would affect my season. And what I mean by affecting my season is that basically the slightest change in atmosphere, in temperature, or basically the environment setup that you have, the husbandry, it could actually put the female off because something in her feels that it's just not right, and she might decide to reabsorb or not even allow those follicles to grow. Now, the beginning of the season, I went ahead and I purchased a ultrasound machine, which I have to give a huge shout out to Breeder Circle, Ricardo and Isaac. Thank you very much for hooking me up with the machine. Like I said, the main purpose, I mean, like within breeding, it's not like you need to have the ultrasound machine, but it does take a lot of the guessing out of it, especially when you have males that you want to place with multiple females. Now, one of the main reasons actually that I got the ultrasound machine was because I wanted to eliminate the guessing part until the end of the season. Now, my season usually will start as early as November, and it'll basically top off by June, because just by June the temperature actually spikes up here, and there's more of a probability that the male and the females, they're not going to be actually looking to socialize like you would usually see, because the temperatures are too warm. It's like, you know, it's like if you get one of those bad arguments with your spouse and she's like, you know, get out my face. I've seen that a lot. But the thing is that that's where I was facing. And I've been so anxious to try to finish the season the best way I can. Now, with the ultrasound machine, I have been able to see which of the females I was able to save. Now, when I say females that I was able to save, I'm looking with the ultrasound and I'm seeing every female that's over 30 and 35. Those 35, my goodness, I can't remember what it is. 35 molecular, I don't know. I mean, like, you can help me out. Put the words in the comment fields if you can, because I'm shell shocked still, basically, because like I said, I'm devastated. One of the females that I have that I was so looking forward to was a female head clown, and I always had the question if she was a black pastel or cinnamon, but basically I just have her as a head clown, and the breeding was a banana black pastel head clown male, and I only wanted to produce some banana cool clowns, or at least some banana cinnamon looking or banana and black pastel looking clowns, just to have for my personal collection. I mean, like, I know it's not the greatest. I do have a few clowns in my collection, but I wanted to produce, hoping to get at least a visual clown clutch, regardless what it was, out of that pairing. Something that I noticed that basically when I started building up the season, I mean, like, the season was going great. When I started out basically pairing up the female, I always start ultrasounding in November. And in November, the female, she was already at 8. So basically around that size, it's not the time to start pairing, but it'll give you an idea that you're that much close enough. Now, what I usually do is I like to basically cool down my rooms at least a month in advance, so that way the females and the males, they're more or less into that gear that helps me to get an earlier season. Now, by December, from 8, that female actually grew up to 10 follicle size, and from January she grew up again to 11. February she went up to 15, and on March she went all the way as far as 20. And I was like, this is what I needed, because basically this is like the prime time to actually start pairing up the female. Unfortunately, that's when I was going through my situation that I had to start actually moving around a lot of my clutches. Not my clutches, but my actual snakes. And the other females, they were way more ahead. I wasn't too worried about that, because by March, most of my females are already hitting the 30 and 40 mark. So those are like basically done. There's nothing more I needed to do with them. And having moved here, she actually started digressing. In other words, she was reabsorbing. Now, how did I notice? Besides the fact that she was not feeding. And I thought that was a good sign, because obviously when a female is developing her follicle at a specific stage, she won't have room for the meals. But when I started ultrasounding her, she went down from 20, she went down to 18, and just recently she went down to 12. I'm going to ultrasound her right now so you actually see she's more or less around that follicle size. But from going up to 20 and not eating and basically digressing or reabsorbing the follicle, is what means is she's reabsorbing that as a food nutrient. That's what she's doing. She's basically, because something in this changed in her, and I have to blame it on the move. You know, this is a different environment. The climate is a little bit more chillier, and maybe it was the stress of the move itself. But that's that one female actually that started regressing. Besides that, I had a lavender albino het pie that produced dreamsicles for me last season, and she never went past 9. She never went past 9. But even though she was a late seasoner female, I was hoping that within the time basically she was going to start picking it up. She was aggressive. She had no problem feeding. She was a very aggressive feeder, but she just would not let those follicles grow. Why? Again, if they feel there is a change in their environment, their husbandry, the stress of a move, actually. I mean, like, I've heard this talk so many times by so many different breeders, but until I actually had to go through it, I was terrified to the point that, you know, these are like 2 of the clutches that I was really anticipated on. And it brought me back. It brought me back because just the other day I had a conversation with someone who was on his very first season. And this person was actually so upset that he said he just wanted to give up on everything, on breeding snakes. He wanted to give away snakes. He didn't want to know anything about it just because he had one bad season. I mean, like, and honestly, I know there's a lot of people that they plan, because this is what this is all about. I mean, like, if there's a reason why you wait 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years, whatever time it is, you want to see that first clutch. But you also have to basically take on, like I would say over here, you have to carry 2 jackets. You have to carry one jacket that you're going to win. The other jacket is basically you're going to go out, you know, not in the best situations. But you got to be prepared for basically all the situations that can actually happen. Besides a female reabsorbing, you're going to get slugs. That's like another major, you know, deception that you can get. And on top of, and I would say the worst out of all is when a female becomes egg bound. When you get a female because egg bound, that's to the point of no return. And I've been through that situation, and I've seen so many other people, and that's not a point that I would love to repeat. I mean, like, I would prefer slugs over egg bound any day. And if the female basically stressed out because of the move, well, you want to know something? I'm geared up for the next one, because this is what I told him. And I will tell you also, if from your first season and your second season, you're not getting the results that you wanted, this is not for you. I mean, like, to be realistically, this is what breeders are made of. Breeders are made of basically taking it on the chin. As a matter of fact, B&H, we had a live the other day on my Instagram channel, and he nailed it on the chin, no pun intended. But it was basically that you have to take the hits. And this is something that basically is going to make you a better breeder. It really will. I mean, like, you have to take it in stride. I know we have to struggle in another year and maybe even 2 years to actually see a project go through. But, you know, that's why on the flip side, when you see someone or breeder on Morph Market or whatever putting X price on whatever ball python, and you're trying to nickel and dime that person, think back how hard maybe it could have been and how many seasons that person actually tried to produce that snake. And then basically be on that side, and then you start actually figuring how much should I price my snake. Anyway guys, again, I just wanted to rant, but it was another video. I'm going to be doing a lot more of those worlds, not what worlds, it's limited island tour. I'm getting some breeders that are very you know, passionate about just joining this because they want to share their journeys within this, and this is what this is all about. Honestly, this is a journey that I feel that is basically designated individually for each individual breeder. So, you know, don't get upset about a season that doesn't go your way, or even a second season. Heck, this is part of actually making and creating that breeder that you admire so much when you watch other channels. Again guys, thank you very much for taking the time. Again, and if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, come and follow my journey, and until the next time, I will see you in the next video.